Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn, and this is your one-take review of Gungrave G.O.R.E. Now, I will give you a little preface, a little just, if you just want the quick and the dirty, the lowdown, though, just tell me what it is so I don't gotta watch this whole thing. It's bad, okay? This review is going to be almost overwhelmingly negative. I have so little to say that is positive about this game. So I'll just let you know right now, if that's all you need, don't buy it, don't play it, don't go play anything else. But I played it, I played all the way through it, and now I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't. So, let's go and just start with the premise. And the premise is, I don't know what's happening. Okay, this isn't a remake of the original game on the PlayStation 2. It doesn't have really anything to do with the anime. It's technically like a sequel of those games and that anime, I think. But it's not like it really explains anything that it's doing very well, okay? The main guy, the main character, the big dude that you see with the freaking coffin on his back and the big guns shooting all over the place, that is Brandon Heat, otherwise known as Grave. And he died, and he was brought back to life, and he is like this vampire gun-shooty thing, I think, and he works with like the good guys who are like the CIA, but not, and there's an elite 4 of mobsters. I literally, like Pokemon rules, there's 4 of them, and they each have their own team of Pokemon that they use to fight you. Not quite literally, but that's the way that it feels, and they operate like a crime city, and inside this crime city, they manufactured the T-virus, but it's not the T-virus, it's called seed, and they want to give everyone their seed, and all of the seed comes from this big thing, this big glowing testicle called a seed core, and they're distributing this seed all over the place, and it's turning people into crazy people, and monsters, and zombies, and demons, and everything else. And if that didn't make sense, the game doesn't make sense, okay? I'm doing my best here. We read all of the loading screens, all of the missions. We gave this game way more than it deserved, okay? We read it all, we listened to it all, we watched it all, and at the end of it all, we had no idea what was happening. But by the end of it all, we were like, thank God, it's over. But so the premise is you shoot, you're a big, strong, revived vampire man, and you shoot a bunch of stuff, okay? That's what we got. Let's move into how the game runs. Performance time, okay? We played the game on PC through Xbox Game Pass. If for whatever reason you were like, you know what, it can't be that bad, I gotta try it out for myself, please do yourself a favor and just play it through Game Pass, okay? It was available day one, and we were like, all right, playing it on Game Pass. You know why? Because it's $50 on Steam, and it is not worth even the $10 Game Pass subscription, okay? I'm just gonna let you know right now. But it ran well. I will say that it did run good. We had a couple of small occasional stutter struggle on PC. That never seems to go away. But otherwise, it was a very smooth experience. The moment-to-moment visuals were really, really good. Everything, like, I can't say that the game, in terms of how it functioned, whatever it was built to do, it did it. It didn't feel good to play, but it did do it well, okay? I will say that one of the small takeaways, one of the small silver linings that this game gets is that it does look pretty good, okay? Even the actual gameplay itself, moment to moment, it looks pretty darn decent. And that's about it. That's about as much as I can say, okay? The cutscenes, though, wow. Whatever team they had doing the cutscene in this, cutscenes were really cool, really awesome. If they would have just made like an hour-and-a-half long version of this game's story that was just in the style of this game's cutscenes and sold that to me for $50, I would have been way more excited about it than this horrendous slog of a game, okay? And even in combat, it still looks pretty decent. The visuals are fine, but they start to get tiresome after a while. And here's the reason why. When we get to the gameplay part of this game, I don't know what the design philosophy behind this game was. I will say, this game feels like it should have been an arcade game, okay? 100%. It feels like I should have been able to walk into an arcade, go up to a cabinet, grab a couple of light guns, feed it way more dollars than it deserves, and play it at the arcade. If it was in those circumstances, the game would actually probably be really, really good. If Grave moved on his own and you were just like, yeah, light guns! Sure, like the Terminator game or like Area 51, Sector 4 or whatever that was, or House of the Dead, if it was like any of those, probably would have been a lot better game. It's not that. It's not. It's a controller game. You play it on a console. I gotta grab a prop. Hang on. So here's the thing, okay? I got an Xbox controller here, okay? You're gonna see in this footage, you just shoot shit. You shoot shit. All you do is walk down hallways and you shoot shit. And you're gonna see him shooting a lot, right? He's all bang, 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 like he's some sort of freaking like guy from Equilibrium or whatever. But you're doing this the whole time. The whole time, you're getting the best finger workout you've ever had in your entire life. Because every one of those shots, every one of those bullets, you gotta pull the trigger every time. There is no holding it down. You hold it down, he goes bang. And he doesn't shoot again. You have to keep smashing the trigger all the time. Because the whole game is just walking through hallways and smashing the trigger down, hoping that shit dies before your brain dribbles out of your ears. Because that's it. That's the whole game. There is a little bit more, okay? You can, like, hold the button and he'll do, like, a charge shot. There's, like, a small, sad-ass little dodge move. There's a counter move. But that's it. There's nothing past that. There are a couple other people that you get to play as, okay? At one point, you get to play as his brother, whose name escapes me because I cannot tell you how much I do not care. And he plays exactly the same way as the main character does. He just looks different and has slightly different guns and, like, 2 different abilities, okay? There is one section of the entire game where it is genuinely different. You play as Quartz, and she is a martial artist, and it also does not play well. It's more fun than this. I will let you know right now. It's more fun than this. But the bar was so low to the ground that you basically couldn't even trip over it at that point, okay? And that's it, okay? The enemies are just generic fodder that you just walk through. Doesn't matter what difficulty you're on. And then you get to the bosses, okay? The bosses look cool. That's it. They look cool. They're not mechanically interesting, okay? They try to have interesting mechanics, but they don't. They don't have interesting mechanics. You just shoot them a bunch, and then eventually they fall over. This game is 12 hours long. I am not joking. 12 painful hours of just mashing that trigger. There is maybe 2 45-minute sections where you play as Grave's brother, and one like 1 hour long section where you play as Quartz. And then the other 9 hours, you're just walking down a hallway, mashing the trigger button, wishing that you were doing anything else. Picking your own toenails off with tweezers would probably be more exciting. And probably less painful too. Because there's just nothing. If it was an arcade game and like there was like an hour that you played as Grave, and then like, oh, I got to this extra segment where I get to do like this cool 15-minute run through where I play as his brother, and then we do some more stuff as Grave, and then oh, there's another cool like 15-minute section where we get a slightly different mechanic. We're seeing Quartz beat the shit out of people, and then we do a cool boss fight with Grave, and the game's like 3 hours long. You put $5 in it at the arcade, and you're like, man, that was sick. It probably would have been better, but it's so boring. It's so boring. I cannot express how boring it is. Oh, I'll give it one more silver lining though, okay? One more little positive note. It's got pretty decent audio, but I'm grasping at straws here. It's got like 4 total music tracks in the whole game. Thankfully, those music tracks are good, but after hour 4, you don't care that they're good anymore because it's been 4 tracks for the last 4 hours. The combat sounds, it all sounds good. Like the sound of the guns, you're like, oh, that's a good gun sound. And then after you have listened to bang, 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 for 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 14 hours, it doesn't matter anymore. I will give them credit. The game looks pretty good and it sounds pretty good. And I've added those things in here to avoid, for the sake of avoiding a absolutely 100% negative review, because otherwise I'd just be sitting here thinking about how much the game made me want to claw my face off. But as we come to a close, I don't know why this game is a thing. I don't know why they made it. I don't know anyone that was like, you know what I really need? You know what I really need in my life? I need a remake or the reboot or the sequel of Gungrave. You know that trash-ass hour-and-a-half long game that bombed, nobody bought, and nobody liked on the PlayStation 2 back in 2002? What if we made that game again? Why would you do that? Why would you think that's what you should do? And even if you did decide to do that, why did you decide to make just trash? Just a pile of pain. It has some of the worst gameplay that I have ever experienced. I have played indie early access games that barely even would launch on Steam that had a more engaging gameplay loop than Gungrave G.O.R.E did. You have like some special abilities and stuff, and they're like, woo, flashy, but they don't matter. It has the worst writing. All you hear is people talking about giving other people their seed. The story is meaningless. It has decent audio and pretty damn good visuals. But really what you should do, if you want the Gungrave G.O.R.E experience in the highest capacity that it has to offer, go to YouTube. Like, well, you're on YouTube right now. Go up to that search bar at the top and type in like Gungrave G.O.R.E full movie so that you can find someone who's edited all the cutscenes together and just watch the cutscenes. They're not gonna make sense, but you get to look at probably about 15 minutes of really cool like cinematographic cutscenes that are just a beauty to behold. And that's really what you should do. I can't recommend you do anything than that. This game, if you wanted a number, is like at best a 5 out of 10. It runs well, it looks all right, it sounds good, but it's one of the most unfun, boring, I never want to talk about it, touch it, or play it again experience that I've ever had in video gaming. And I almost regret playing it. I was like, you know, maybe this game will be one of those games that you're like, oh yeah, it's bad, but it's good bad. Like Loft House Cookies, right? Or like freaking Quentin Tarantino films where you're like, you know, I don't think that these are that good, but I kind of still really like them a lot. Michael Bay movies, you're like, they're trash. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you're like, there's nothing really in like any deep levels going on here, but I'm having fun. No, it wasn't that. It was just bad the entire time, and I don't recommend it under any circumstances. That said, let me know what your thoughts are if you have touched Gungrave G.O.R.E. I would love to hear from you. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to keep up the conversation elsewhere, 2 great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. We do stream on Twitch. I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.